So you might have seen last night that I was out there chasing something in the woods. I posted that YouTube short video. I don't know, you may not have seen it. It doesn't get a lot of views, but I was out here chasing something last night. Finally, whatever it was out in the woods. It wouldn't go away. I shot a couple 22 rounds into the ground and it took off after that. So that worked. You don't want to shoot firearms up in the air. I hear so many people say, oh, just shoot a couple of warning shots in the air. Well, then you're going to hurt somebody else that you're not trying to hurt. I'm telling you, I'm getting a little frustrated with whatever's going on around here. A few days ago, maybe a week, well, it was actually Thanksgiving Day. You will remember I made a video. It was a pretty tragic video. We used to have windows on the chicken coop here, and I had it triple protected. I had a plexiglass window like this. I had hardware cloth like this, and then I had a layer of chicken wire. So 3 layers. Well, something got into the chicken coop and killed 9 chickens. Now, we still had a ton of chickens in the IBC tank, 17 of them. We were trying to get those chickens into the chicken coop. What it is the adult chickens were here in the spring in the big coop. Well, during the spring, we incubated several, and we also bought some Brahmas, and we were raising them in the IBC tank. The problem is that becomes home to them after a while, and they don't want to leave it. So we were trying to get them in there, but we weren't really working that hard at it. So fortunately, the majority of the chickens were in there. So the lesson that we learned was, don't keep all your chickens in one coop. Similar, like, don't keep your eggs in one basket. So we doubled down on this. We got rid of the windows. The reason I put windows in there is because my subscribers, and it wasn't just 1 or 2, when we built it, screamed up and down that we had to have windows in it. And I know there are going to be people who say, don't listen to subscribers. Well, at times you have to listen to subscribers when you're on YouTube. It can get kind of bad. You start losing subscribers, people start calling the authorities on you. I've told you several times that we've had authorities called on us. So sometimes it's just easier to do what the subscribers want than to argue with them in videos. So we put windows in it. I didn't ever think it was a great idea. Well, it wasn't. So the other Thanksgiving, we thought coyotes got in there and killed 9 of them. Now there was 3 carcasses on the ground over here. Just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I'm not really sure, I don't remember. I found another carcass, but it was half eaten, so the raccoons are starting to get a hold of that. So that accounts for 4 of them. Well, now we've decided that we go ahead and take all the chickens out of the IBC tank and put them into the chicken coop, because now we have reinforced the chicken coop. So we've got it all surrounded with metal now. I think the only thing that can get into it now is a bear. Well, last night I heard something, and it was under the house again, and it keeps tearing up my plumbing underneath the house. So I immediately jumped up and ran outside with my little .22 pistol, and I started chasing it around the woods. So just a little bit ago, I heard the chickens. I was getting ready to make a video. It was going to be a different video. It wasn't going to be this video. I heard the chickens quacking. Now, I wish I could respond quicker. Usually I hear them quack. Not quack, I mean, that's a duck, but whatever noise they make. But I never react to the first one. And the reason is because they're always out here making noise. When they lay an egg, they make all kinds of noise. So you're jumping up and down all day long just to find out they're laying an egg. Well, in the second squeal, or whatever you want to call it, I jumped up and I thought, well, nothing's really going on. And the rooster's acting all macho, so maybe he was mating with one of them. I wasn't sure, because all these hens are fairly young. Some of them are getting mated for the first time. I mean, he's still new at it also. He's not been doing it very long. And he's huge. He's like 12 or 15 pounds. And he's trying to mate these little Americanas. So I didn't know, but I came outside anyways, and when I did, I saw a pit bull here. Well, I ran back in the house because I didn't grab my .22. I don't know why I didn't grab it. Ran back in the house, grabbed my .22, and I came back out, and he'd ran off. Well, I'm telling you, I'm getting a little infuriated with this. Last year, we had a problem with that exact same dog. And I went down and I talked to the guy, and I said, look, and I showed him the law, that if his dog is harassing my chickens, I have the right to shoot him. And I said, I don't want to shoot your dog. I like dogs. Dogs are great. And it's not the dog's fault that he's on my property. But I can't have him killing my chickens. And he said, oh, no, okay, yeah, no problem. And he killed a chicken last year. What he did was, Carolyn was holding the chicken, and he jumped up on Carolyn and knocked her back. Well, she let go of the chicken, of course, trying to catch her balance, and the dog grabbed the chicken and killed the chicken and ran off with it. Well, I didn't know whose dog it was at the time, but you could see the feathers. It's about a mile down the road. And I don't know, every 50 feet, 100 feet, there'd be another clump of feathers. I followed the feathers all the way to the guy's house. There's the dead chicken on the porch. Dogs are barking. And he said, I'll pay for your chickens. I said, no, that's not the point. I mean, the chicken is $5. The point is this is important to me. This is gonna feed us, the chickens do. Saves us a ton of money. And there's no way I can charge you the value of that chicken for the rest of its life. I don't know what that is. Just keep your dog tied up and everything will be great. So for a year, we've not had any problems. Well, now all of a sudden we're having problems again. I'm gonna have to go back down and talk to him. But this time there's 9 chickens missing. Now I have no proof that his dog killed the 9 chickens. It seems pretty obvious that his dog killed 9 chickens. Here's my problem. Is, let's say the dog comes back over here and I got to do the thing that I really don't want to do anyways and shoot the dog. I have a legal right to shoot the dog, but I don't want to. So I shoot the dog. Now, here's the thing that's going to be really aggravating is I know human nature. People get mad when you hurt their pets. They don't see chickens as pets. And I know this because I've had chickens before. Neighbors don't think that their dogs do any wrong. Now, I could have video footage of it. I could show the whole thing of him attacking the chickens, and I shoot the dog, and they're going to be upset. So now it's retaliation. You know, what are they going to do? They're going to flatten my tires. They're going to be cussing me. They're going to tell everybody in the neighborhood how terrible I am. So owning chickens makes you a bad neighbor eventually. Even though I don't think they're really neighbors. I wouldn't call them neighbors. They live so far away. But I should be able to live in peace on my property. Now, here's the thing, is subscribers are going to say, well, you need to get a dog. And I got that because just the other day, somebody said, you need to get a big dog. And the dogs will take care of everything. They'll bark and they'll let you know there's something out there. Of course, they'll bark all the time, so you're always jumping up and down. Just like when the chickens make noise, you're jumping up and down. Or when it's outside, if it's outside, it's a permanent outside dog. First of all, I got to train it to stay on my property because I just cannot stand dogs being on other people's property or someone else's dogs being on my property. So I'm not a hypocrite. Well, let's just say I had to spend $20 a week on dog food to replace $20 of eggs that I might make. That makes no sense to me. When you're having to pay more to protect less, I mean, I see this all the time in my comment section. They want $1 million solution to a $5 problem. Or a 2 cents problem. I mean, a 22 is what? Well, maybe 6 cents now? I mean, they're just not that expensive. People will say, now get an electric fence. Well, I am off grid. Now, I know they sell solar panel electric fences, and they're a couple $100. I've had electric fences before, and dogs can get around them. They do figure them out after a while, or they just ignore them. I had a goat one time, had an electric fence around my garden. I didn't want the goat to get into my garden, so I put an electric fence all the way around the garden. And the goat leaned right up to the electric fence, pushed it in. So the wire is bending like this now. She's eating the tomato plants. And I thought, what is going on? So I went over there and reached down and grabbed that electric fence, and it knocked me down. It hit me so hard. So electric fences don't always work, regardless of what people say. Animals can resist that pain. Now, the other one I had considered, and still am considering, is laying boards all the way around the chicken coop with nails driven up through them. The National Forest has actually suggested that to keep bears away. They'll step on it, and then it'll hurt them and they'll run off. Of course, then I'm going to have people complaining, that's abuse to animals. You can't do that. And that's the thing, is me making this video, Carolyn's even like, you shouldn't make this video. People are going to yell at you that you shouldn't be shooting dogs. What makes my chickens less of a value to me, less of an emotional attachment? Maybe they're my pets. Why should I have to suffer because a dog owner has decided to let their dogs run all over the place and do whatever they want. Now, the other thing is no matter what I do, let's say I do shoot the dog. Of course, then I got to contend with the police. The police are going to come by, they're going to do an investigation. Of course, I'm going to be completely within my legal rights. I just looked it up, as a matter of fact. In most states, you can shoot a dog that is harassing or killing your farm animals and your poultry. And they don't care. They somehow justify in their head that chickens are not as important as dogs. And in my mind, I mean, I have this silly cat. We love this cat. Carolyn just bought this cat a bunch of toys. She's out in the woods making sure I don't go too far. I can see her right over there. And so we understand the value of a pet. But to me, the chickens are of more value than a pet. I've had pets. I understand the value of pets. I love pets. I'm a dog lover. I'm a cat lover. But when you're talking about your food, really, that's my food. We are trying to become independent so we don't have to go to the grocery store anymore. I've talked to you about this quite a bit. Now, I know there are going to be subscribers telling me that I need to spend money, and I just covered this. I don't think I should have to spend a bunch of money. Here's the thing. I should be able to allow my chickens to free range on my property, if you really think about it. I don't, because we have a lot of eagles, bald eagles. They're huge. And we do a pretty good job. I mean, this pen has kept bobcats out. It's kept a fox out. The only thing that we lost to is whatever came by on Thanksgiving. I don't understand why I got to continue to invest more when I should be able to just let my chickens run free. Even if I had a fence all the way around my property, I know fences don't keep animals out. Dogs, I should say. My grandpa had goats, and Dad tells a story about this all the time. And dogs would come in all the time and kill those goats. And Grandpa, of course, you know, back in the day, he didn't have any problems killing those dogs. Well, of course, the neighbors started complaining. You have to make a choice. And this is what's so terrible about it, is either you try to protect your chickens or you become a bad neighbor. But how is it that the pet owner isn't the bad neighbor? I remember that dog 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, whatever it was, came over here. And I told the neighbor, he was out in the yard, and he's trying to get the dog out of my yard. He's helping me out. I said, I'm going to shoot that dog. Oh, no, let's not overreact here. It's okay. So he immediately sided with the dog who was in my yard. So if you click this up next box, it'll take you to that video where I showed you the hole in the side of the chicken coop. So I hope I can inspire you to keep your dogs in your yard so you live your dreams. Thanks for watching.